Hello, Reject Nation. It's Greg Alba here.
And I am John Humphrey.
We're going to check out today from What Culture 10 awesome opening scenes and otherwise terrible films. But before we do that, we wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, KindleCup.com. So guys, the holidays are coming. Black Friday is almost here.
And before you know it, it's going to be whichever winter holiday you choose to celebrate.
And if you're in need of a gift for that special somebody or just some goodies for yourself,
then definitely check out KindleCup.com.
They've got a wide variety of products ranging from electronics to clothing, collectibles, accessories, and more.
And they also offer free worldwide shipping on orders over $50.
And if you hit up our special link, kindlecup.com/realrejects, link in the description box, and enter our promo code REALREJECTS, you can get an extra 15% off of your order.
Holy Black Friday, Batman. Our discount code is applicable to any and all purchases you make in the Kindle Cup store, so hit that link, check out the site, and grab yourself some cool gifts for the holidays. Get a Game of Thrones fidget spinner for someone you love.
And thanks, Kindle Cup, for sponsoring this video. You guys are fantastic people over there. Anyway, let's get on to What Culture's video here.
A great opening scene can set the tone for a movie going forward, giving the audience an idea of whether they're in for a great time or whether they've just wasted a tenner or so for a ticket and nibbles. Sometimes a flick can have an utterly engrossing opening scene, then send everyone tumbling downhill from there. Many films have done it over time.
Oh, X-Men Origins,
it's
totally.
Frustrating, it's not as bad as a title that's terrible from start to finish. With promises
Tokyo
of great
Drift.
scenes in the first few minutes, only for the remaining 100 or so minutes to be garbage, is downright unforgivable. And that's why films that do this are on this list. I'm Rich from What Culture, and these are 10 awesome opening scenes in otherwise
Let's see which
terrible
movies we've seen.
movies.
Alright,
Number
alright, here we
10,
go.
Die Another Day.
Oh, yeah.
24 Bond films, Pierce Brosnan's final outing as Bond does open rather explosively. With Bond infiltrating a base in North Korea and raising hell, the gunfights and numerous explosions result in a wonderfully over-the-top hovercraft chase. But since Bond brings an Uzi to a flamethrower fight, he's captured and tortured.
Then he
when the
grows a
opening credits
beard.
roll. Everything goes arse about tit from there on in. Plastic surgery plot twists, invisible cars, and increasingly questionable CGI, Die Another Day has become the Bond that's trendy to hate. But it seems that most want to ignore the fact that the opening was rather enticing. Number 9, Sucker Punch.
Die
I
Another
admit
Sucker
I do have a
Punch.
soft spot for Sucker Punch.
Oh,
As much as using Sweet Dreams or some variation of that in a film is becoming
she
as
say?
overused as Inception-esque booms in trailers, the opening to Zack Snyder's skimpy action fantasy thing is rather engrossing indeed. Emily
BVS.
Browning's baby doll
He loves
mourns over her
that
deceased
shot.
mother, is sent to an asylum after being blamed for her sister's eventual death, and her stepfather bribes Poe Dameron to get her a fast-track lobotomy. It establishes itself as a gritty and emotional romp, and then backtracks with layered dream sequences, over-the-top action set pieces, skimpy outfits, and bucket loads of false eyelashes. Sucker Punch is but a shell of a deep movie,
kind of fun.
albeit with some pretty brilliant visuals on the surface. Number
just
8,
arduous.
Hancock. Superhero, super hobo.
Well, the first half
Great
is good.
concept, poorly executed.
Oh, this? Yeah.
Except for the opening. Hancock begins with Will Smith's character being woken by a foul-mouthed kid who informs him there's a high-speed pursuit underway. Hungover and still drinking, Hancock hurtles through the sky and through various signage to apprehend the villains. After saving Ray Embry, a PR specialist, he offers to improve his public image. There's the plot set. Let's go. Downhill. Let's go. Despite the great
No, I think the
latter
first half
film
is
starts
good.
to decline in quality, eventually starting to take itself a little too seriously.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
drunken doings of Hancock take a back seat, and we end up with just another mediocre superhero film.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 7, Jeepers Creepers. Talk about a movie that doesn't bore the audience with foreplay. Trish and Darry are driving home from college for spring break when a big rusty truck attempts to run them off the road. After they spot the truck dumping bodies into a chute by a church, the main antagonist, the Creeper, chases them once again, this time successfully running them off the road. The audience catch their breath, and we continue. From there, however, an abundance of horror cliches taint the exciting opening, and the over-explanation of the Creeper's mythology pays to less plausible wash over the whole ordeal. The opening 13 minutes may be a wonderful way to kick things off, but after that point, you're going to be the one wanting to be thrown down that chute. Number 6, Alien vs Predator Requiem. It may seem
Was it a
surprising,
cool
but
opening?
There was a good
Predatalian?
7 minutes of this film that didn't suck. AVP Requiem opens with a Predalien, Predalien?
Predatalian.
Very inventive,
Predator.
hatching from a predator on board a predator ship. It quickly matures and all hell breaks loose, slaughtering everything it sees and causes
I
the
don't know,
ship to
I
crash
thought
land
this
on
was
Earth,
stupid, too.
right where a father and son are hunting. Both are apprehended by facehuggers, but a late distress call
That's a
reaches a
trope.
lone predator who sets off to Earth to fight the Predalien alone. I mean, how cool does that sound? Unfortunately, the film doesn't deliver on its boss opening.
That is a
Too much screen time is
terrible,
given to unlikable human
terrible
characters when it
movie.
really deserves to go to the titular characters battling it out. Unfortunately, Requiem doesn't re-find its footing after that great introduction. Number 5. Ghost
Alien
Ship.
deserves
This
a
one
better
really sneaks up
movie.
on you. The movie opens with the titular ship with smooth music and happy dancing passengers. However, an unidentified hand pulls a lever which causes a huge roll of razor-sharp wire to unspool and slice across the dance floor. Silence ensues as the guests look at each other. in
Whoa, that's what happens in that movie? I haven't
Wow.
seen it.
Quite literally. Irrelevant of this opening scene being regarded as one of the most inventive kill sequences in all of horror, the rest of the film lies in bits, much like those first guests. A generic plot,
Wow.
massive predictability, and lack of scares means that critically, Ghost Ship sunk. Get it? Because it's a boat. Number 4, Ninja Assassin.
I like this
I like
movie.
Ninja Assassin.
Hollywood getting a tattoo. When
Oh, it's Ninja Assassin. I thought it was Tokyo.
Many tattooists recognizes it as a sign that the ninja is coming. As the gang laugh at his fear, one member gets his entire f***ing face
Whoa,
sliced in
that's
half.
right.
As the gangsters start shooting wildly into the dark, attempting to defeat this unseen ninja, they're picked off one by one, similarly being sliced into wonderfully gory, bite-sized chunks. As the ninja takes one final slice at the elderly
movie
man,
was cool.
the title is revealed, and you can stop
It's cheesy,
watching.
but it's cool.
As much
Yeah,
as
it's
the action
cool.
sequences were praised, none really matched up to this opening sequence, and the characters and bare-bones plot were universally panned. With no personality behind it, even gruesomely entertaining fight scenes lose their novelty rather quickly. Number 3, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Most of you already know this one isn't going to be great. Beginning in the mid-19th century, X-Men Origins Wolverine opens with Wolverine and Sabretooth's father being killed by an unknown assailant, who turns out to be Wolvo and Sabre's real father.
Wolvo.
Sure. With some slick transitions
Wolvo.
through to their adult life and through the American Civil War, both World Wars and the Vietnam War, the pair end up in front of a firing squad after Sabretooth kills a fellow soldier. Shots are fired. Boom. Title card. Despite great performances from Jackman and Schreiber, the film was a giant missed opportunity. The script was a total mess, and of course we can't forget the butchering of Deadpool. Sealed mouth, pinstripes, and all.
Yes, of course.
For those first 8 minutes, though, we thought we were in for a treat. Number 2, Super Troopers. To kick things off, 3 stoned college students are
People
robbed
love
off
this
the highway
movie.
as a
Love
police
it.
officer
Yeah, I
comes
was gonna
beside
say,
them.
I've never
One of the 3 panics and eats all of the drugs. After being questioned, the cops drive off only to loop round again, repeating exactly what they said before, messing with the 3 high gentlemen. Once a foul-mouthed speeding motorist flies by, the 3 lads are bundled into the back of a cruiser and a chase ensues. When the motorist is apprehended inside a bar, he's revealed to be a fellow cop playing a prank on his buddies, and they mess with the stoners even further. By firing gunshots away from their view, they convince them that the motorist killed these cops. He proceeds to run outside and steal the cruiser they're being held in, terrifying them in the process. Well, except for the one busy licking the windows. As much as this opening is entertaining, the remainder of the picture is an
I've never seen
amalgamation
this
of
movie.
hit and miss humour. Something only really entertaining if you're about as jacked up as those students. However, with a cult following behind it, a crowd-funded sequel is actually on the way.
Yep.
And number 1,
Yeah, that's
The Way of the Gun. Here's one that
That's
wastes
a
no
great
time either.
opening
Parker and
scene.
across the street from the club.
Oh, I
We see
love
those
this
stories
movie.
long
I love
sets
this
off
movie.
the
I don't
road
think.
the car
I
is
think the
perched on.
whole movie is
A guy
pretty good.
shouts from across the road, telling him to get off his car. His
That's
girlfriend
Sarah
then backs
Silverman.
up and approaches them, effing and jeffing like
right.
nobody's business. Ryan Phillippe Parker socks her clean in the face, and a huge fight ensues.
That's a great
When
opening.
the cops arrive and the flight clears, Parker and Longbow are left bloody and beaten.
Nah, I like
From
that movie.
here, there isn't really much else to write home about. Many
What?
critics dismissed it as a post-Tarantino knockoff, failing to cough up a compelling plot or
A little
any
bit.
likable characters. Despite the lukewarm response, a cult following has swallowed up The Way of the Gun, and even if the film isn't for everyone, the opening is one for the ages. And that's our list.
The
Any
opening's
other
not
movies
for
that started
everyone.
Strong and fell apart as time went on? Let me know in the comments section below. Head over to whatculture.com for more fun and frolics like this, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. I'm Rich from What Culture, and I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you, Rich.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below. And if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears.
Already subscribed, buddy. You're one of the best channels out there. Man, they talked about some films on this list.
did?
I don't really care for Die Another Day's opening scene, actually. I really hated that movie.
I feel like as far as the Bond movies go, I'd be curious to see it again in its entirety. That scene didn't really leave an impression on me.
Nah, it's just a typical Bond opening.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm used to this kind of thing at the front of these,
Yeah.
and it's not the best one of those I've seen.
It's not, yeah, it wasn't like, yeah, this looks different or enticing at all. I guess that's why it's number 10 on this list.
Aw, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch is a film, though, that,
Aw.
yeah, it's a pretty awful film. However,
It's on TVs.
However, like they said here, there's plenty to appreciate in it as well.
Sucker Punch is one of those movies that I really wish worked somehow. Like, I get on paper what's cool about the concept, and like, you see his world, and for those brief doses there, I'm like, oh yeah, I get why I thought this might be cool.
Sucker Punch is a movie you can re-edit to any song. What
That's
more
true.
do you want?
Oh, that's gonna
I
be
could
it.
just-
I'm gonna make so many playlists.
You can make so many different. You get to choose so many cool songs, and take footage from Sucker Punch. You can do almost every Zack Snyder movie.
Hey, true that, man. He should be making music videos.
That's what he wants to make. I don't agree about Hancock full-heartedly.
I
I
don't
was just
either.
talking about Hancock with someone the other day. I think the first half of Hancock is pretty all right. Up until he
Yeah.
becomes a superhero, then it gets all crazy with like, oh, Charlize Theron's also a super thing. And then it gets all caught up in gods and all these stuff. But I thought the first half of the movie was all right.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think the first half of the movie is arguably what works the best, or maybe just because it is the first half, it's what you get used to. I don't hate the second half of this movie. I do accept that it doesn't work overall as a film.
Takes itself too seriously in the second half, yeah.
It does. But there's stuff about why that happens in the story that I do like. I like the whole thing about, like, we cannot be close to each other, otherwise we tear everything around us apart.
That's every one of my relationships. I am toxic and codependent.
And that's also... It's also just, you can't call, like, the first 45 minutes of something an opening scene.
AVP Requiem, I don't agree with that either. I thought the whole Predatalian thing was freaking stupid. I thought it was really stupid from the very beginning. I did
feel
not
like
think it was cool.
That creature deserves a movie that's good or something just to see, because I feel like that's a cool thing to have seen, but I didn't feel cool while I was watching that movie.
How I feel about the Predatalian is that if it had like a cheesy, fun, kind of scary movie following it, it could have worked.
Yeah.
But from the beginning, I thought it was stupid.
AVPR didn't get anything right for me as I remember it, and I don't
No.
have a great
I've seen it
recollection
twice.
of
It's
it now.
horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, and the open it's another one of those movies where the opening scene also didn't leave an impression on me. Again, I'd like to rewatch it, but I feel like I was a little let down by the ultimate, like, oh, this is what we're doing with the Predatalian? Okay.
Yeah.
like,
It doesn't even do anything special. Name one unique thing the Predatalian can do.
I can't.
Ghost Ship. Have you ever seen this movie?
I have not. Didn't Sam Raimi produce this, or his company, or
I think
or
so.
something?
That opening scene made me go, I want to check the movie out.
Yeah, that opening scene looked wicked.
I stopped listening to everything he was saying after that, and I was like, that was a crazy opening scene right there.
I'm not gonna learn from the message of this video. Let's rent Ghost Ship.
Let's rent Ghost Ship. They just promoted Ghost Ship. That's what movies get. Even if you bag on the movie, it's free promotion. Am I right? Am I
no
right?
press is
Everybody
bad
go
press.
watch AVP Requiem. I think Ninja Assassin
Ninja
is a
Assassin's
very
cool.
misunderstood movie. It's cheesy and corny
Yeah.
and goofy and a silly, violent romp fest. I loved it when I watched it. I thought it was so
really fun time,
So together,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, the test screening.
We never saw the theatrical cut, but we saw the test screening. That was amazing. I
was a
had
bitchin' movie,
I had
yeah.
such a great bitchin' is the word to describe it, man.
Yeah, it was
is
like-
a bitchin' movie.
And we were all watching, and we sort of got that vibe. Like, yeah, this is kind of cheesy, and like the human drama
But
elements.
it's so
are-
much fun.
Yeah, but it's cool and badass and fun, and it again, it's one of those movies that delivers on what I wanted out of
Yeah.
it. You know.
Then again, we did see it many years ago, and our perception of film
Has changed.
over the years. So maybe when we go back watching it, we're like, oh, this is pretty boring and awful.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would feel that way. I just don't think I'd see it that way.
I think I would still see what I saw
Have
in
a
it.
ninja fight at a laundromat in the movie.
And he's got that like chain knife thing.
Yeah, that Nobu uses.
Yeah,
in
Nobu,
Daredevil.
X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
I agree that the first scene is cool. You know, Wolverine stabs his dad. Yeah. You little angry white boy. Trailer shot. what? They said like it was good up and even through the montage and them getting shot. I did not like that. I remember being pissed in the theaters. They montage over all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know you can't really explore any of that, but no scenes in any of that.
Scenes.
Not a single scene.
Could've done a few
You get a little
scenes.
boy and you cover all history and no scenes. Just a
5 minutes
montage.
each.
All they did was redo history and throw Wolverine in there, and that annoyed me so much. I started hating it from right then and there. When you see the trailer and you're like, damn,
We're gonna see
some of this
that.
stuff.
Yeah. It's gonna be many periods. How cool.
How old is Logan?
Oh, I see.
It's a montage.
That's
No.
just a trick you pulled on me.
I
See,
don't agree with that at all. Even the montage upsets me.
I think that in one regard, yes, it is a very cool opening montage thing. I agree with you though. Like in context of the rest of the movie, it makes the opening that much worse in that it is just a couple images that are
Yeah.
cool and not much more than that. Yeah.
It might be the trailer too.
The trailer made this movie look so good.
Because the trailer shows you that a lot of the scenes in the montage, so you think you're gonna explore that. Then you realize, oh, they just filmed enough for the trailer.
Yeah. And it's because of that I'm like, it's still technically like I think it's still a cool thing. What it means to what I expected and what I got and all that stuff.
I know that Super Troopers. This is from Canadian people.
Okay.
Eh,
From
Canada's.
Canada.
I don't know anyone who hates this movie. I haven't met a single person who's like Super Troopers sucks.
I feel like the only people who are compelled to talk about it are the people who love it.
Well, I feel like What Culture are British people.
Yes,
with
British people.
British wit and are really intelligent type of comedy. And then they see
drier.
something like Super Troopers and think it's ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
That's I feel like it's a
American comedy.
very
Canadian
specific
comedy.
opinion coming from the British people. I have no room to defend Super Troopers because I myself have never seen it.
Seen Super Troopers, yeah.
But when I see clips of it, I think it's pretty fun. Just even them describing the scene just sounds so hilarious to me.
There's a certain amount of wackiness where I'm like, oh yeah, this is silly.
Yeah.
The point. is
Even
that
the
it's
trailer
silly.
for the second one had me cracking up. Anytime I've seen a scene from Super Troopers, it makes me
We'll
laugh.
have to watch this someday.
We'll have to watch it before the sequel comes out, so we really understand all the
Study.
references
We'll
and
study.
the inside jokes. Way of the Gun. I'm so glad that they put this as number one because it's not a huge film. You could have easily put X-Men on here or something, or Super Troopers, which is more of a cult hit than Way of the Gun. I didn't even know Way of the Gun's a cult hit like they said it is.
Yeah, I was
like, this is a cult following this movie. I thought
cool.
this was
It's
a
not
movie
weird
people
that I love this.
Yeah, I thought it was a movie people forgot about. I really enjoy the hell out of this film.
Cool.
I think there are parts in the second half of Act 2 and some of the beginning of Act 2 which are a little bit dull. And I agree that it does feel a little bit post-Tarantino knockoff a tad bit. To me, it really does have this modern day Western vibe and the characters are cool and they have this really cool scene that breaks into Act 2. So that's past the opening scene. And the finale is violent and they're like shooting up a bunch of old dudes. Like,
This is Death Wish 3.
to me, it's a very awesome film. I think it's a really cool film. I love the tone. And the problem with the film is the opening scene is cooler than a lot of the rest of the movie.
Okay.
That's an issue with the film. But that's not to say I don't enjoy the rest of the movie. Because the rest of the movie I think is really cool. This was my introduction to Benicio del Toro. And I think the only thing I've seen of Ryan Felipe in the entire time I've
This
been
was
alive.
my introduction to Ryan Phillips.
And my finale. Yeah. I've never seen Cruel Intentions or The Shooter Show. Before we wrap this up, is there any movies we could think of that have like a great opening scene and a terrible execution? I feel like there's one we could think of.
Well, there's one that comes to mind, but that doesn't quite fit the bill because I don't think the film itself is agreeably terrible, even though a lot of people are not satisfied with it, and that would be Watchmen. Because Watchmen, everybody can agree that at least the opening credit sequence with, what is that, All Along the Watchtower?
Or even the fight with the Negan.
Oh, when Negan gets killed, when the comedian gets killed. Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people who dislike that movie even credit the opening credits.
The opening credits and the opening scene, which was neat too.
Yeah, and I feel like I see people repost the opening credits
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, guys, you can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Subscribe to What Culture while you're at it. You can check us out on social media. We would really appreciate that. And please make sure to give some love to today's video sponsor, KindleCup.com.
Enter our promo code
Real
Real
Rejects.
Rejects. They got a cool rep over there.
Yeah, Black Friday's coming up, so
We
you might want to hop on that site.
do it.